the removal of certificate forgery as a ground for filing election petitions in the amended Electoral Act 2026 has sparked widespread criticism from legal experts, political analysts, and key stakeholders who warn that the provision could weaken democracy. Section 138 of the Electoral Act 2026 outlines the grounds upon which an election may be challenged, but no longer includes certificate forgery among them. Section 138 sub 1 of the Act states that an election may only be questioned on the grounds that the election was invalid due to corrupt practices or non-compliance with the provisions of the Act, or that the respondent was not duly elected by a majority of lawful votes cast. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has amended the Electoral Act 2026 to criminalize dual partner membership of political parties, prescribing a fine of 10 million naira or a maximum of 2 years imprisonment for offenders. The amendment, contained in a bill seeking to strengthen provisions on political party membership, was passed during plenary after lawmakers considered it at the Committee of the Whole. The legislation introduces 3 new subsections to Section 77 of the Electoral Act 2026, which deals with political membership, making it unlawful for any individual to belong to more than one political party at the same time. Under the new provision, any person found to be registered in more than one political party simultaneously will have such membership declared void. Still from the National Assembly, Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, has almost effectively secured parliamentary numbers required to alter the country's constitution without relying heavily on opposition support, consolidating an overwhelming majority in the National Assembly. This comes in the wake of the defection this past week of 3 more senators from the People's Democratic Party, which now brings the number of senators under its platform to 84. With this number of senators and 231 seats in the House of Reps, APC has already crossed the critical 2/3 threshold needed to push through constitutional amendments in the Senate, placing extraordinary legislative power in the hands of the governing party, which also commands the loyalty of 31 state governors nationwide. On the other side of the political divide, 10 senators have announced their defection to the African Democratic Congress and Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, instantly altering the balance within the minority bloc and positioning the ADC as the new main opposition platform in the Senate. Those who moved to the ADC include Governor of Sokoto State and ex-Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senator Amunu Tambuwal, Sokoto South, and Senator Victor Ume, Anambra Central. Others include Senator Tony Nwoye, Anambra North, Senator Lawal Adamu Usman, Kaduna Central, Senator Mohammed Ugoshi Onawo, Nasarawa South, Senator Augustine Akubundu, Abia Central, Senator Ireti Kingebe from the Federal Capital Territory, and Senator Binos Yaroe from Adamawa South. A letter by Senator Seriake Dixon from Bayelsa West, who recently left People's Democratic Party for Nigeria Democratic Congress, a party he founded, was also read at plenary. Against the backdrop of those defections in the National Assembly, the Senate has opened a constitutional debate over the continued sitting of the lawmaker representing Abia South, Senator Naya Abaribe, following his alleged sack by the All Progressives Grand Alliance. The Senate threatened to invoke Section 68 sub 1 of the Constitution if he fails to voluntarily withdraw his recent defection letter to the African Democratic Congress. The controversy erupted during plenary after the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, read the senator's letter of defection alongside others who recently changed party affiliations, raising concern over the constitutional implications of the move. Akpabio urged the Senate Deputy President, Jibrin Barau, to scrutinize the defection letters to determine whether the lawmakers met the constitutional conditions for leaving their parties. Lawyer and public affairs analyst Chukwuma Ezeala joins me now to look at all of these issues. Thank you very much, Chukwuma Ezeala, for joining us on this Live, the Sunday talk show. Now, I don't want to give any further summary. I think the thing speaks for itself on all of those topics that I have pointed out. You choose where you want to start from. The subjects are self-explanatory.
Okay. Maybe let me start with the recent amendments, especially as it concerns whether members of political parties could join another party and not be punished. The National Assembly now passed a bill that when you move or when you belong to two political parties,
that's the House of Reps.
The House of Reps particularly now. Yes, the House of Reps at this stage. The Senate has not concurred with that.
Yeah.
Now, when you maintain membership of two political parties, it becomes criminal and you could be fined 10 million naira. Now you look
or 2 years in prison.
Or 2 years in prison.
Both.
Or both. Good. You start looking at what informs this decision to get into this. We try to check in which country in the world do we have such provisions. And we also look at the Section 4A of the Nigerian Constitution, which makes provision for freedom of association. Nigerians should be able to move to any political party of their choice. Now, but when you look at Section 4A, you also look at Section 4 and Section 228 that empowers the National Assembly to make laws. And you also look at the various sections that also empowers the National Assembly to make laws on how political parties and political conduct should be taken, particularly Section 68 and Section 109. Can we really safely say that those sections will empower the National Assembly to make such laws, particularly to criminalize membership of two political parties? And some of us says no. It shouldn't be brought to criminal aspect of it. Perhaps it should be left within the domains of political parties to discipline members who maintain membership of their own political party as well as a rival political party. They could say the person stands expelled. They could make various provisions, but not the National Assembly or House of Representatives or anybody making law to criminalize that and to impose such punitive penalty when such happens. I think we are trying to muzzle the system. We don't know where they want to go into. We don't know the destination of the House of Representatives, or if the Senate concurs with this and maybe the President signs it, it's going to be a very terrible thing for Nigeria.
But isn't this also a moral question? Section 65 of the same 1999 Constitution says that elections are won by political parties.
Yes.
You have to belong to a political party to win an election. So is it possible to belong to two political parties? There's a moral question.
No, there's a moral question.
Beyond the law.
Yes, there is a moral question, but not to the extent of criminalizing and having a penalty of 2 years or 10 million naira. That's the issue. The point is that we already have extant laws that says you should not belong to more than one political party. We already also have the extant provisions that says that a political party will have to sponsor you to any position. These are there. So why go in this extent? We don't know what the people that actually got into this, where they want to get into.
But if our political parties have ideological underpinnings, and there is honesty in politics, why should anybody belong to two political parties?
No, it is wrong.
You create an amphibious situation, as in the Wike case. Wike says it's in PDP. He's still trying to remain active in PDP, but at the same time he says he's committed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of APC.
But the provision is not meant to catch somebody like him because he is not a registered member of the APC. They are looking at the registration. If the provision had been that if you're a member of a political party and you're supporting another political party, it will be a different thing altogether, which also in itself will infringe on your freedom of association. That I belong to A does not mean that if I like what B is doing, I cannot say I like it. But what happens is that if I belong to A, for instance, if I belong to APC and they are going to sponsor me, and I also at the same time belong to ADC, it's going to be it's a moral question, but not a criminal issue and should not necessarily be criminalized. And I don't know if we have to get into from there, we can also look at the issue of forgery.
Yes, which is the second issue.
The issue of forgery. And you now say that you have removed forgery as a ground for an election petition. Ordinarily, in a good society, in a society that is working, yes, it has no business to be in the Electoral Act. If you go to other nations, other states, United Kingdom, South Africa, you may not see it in the Electoral Act. But the system has a way of dealing with those people. If there is the issue of forgery, for instance, you are prosecuted. And once immediately you are convicted, you can no longer continue in office. But today, if you have such issue and you go to court, conviction may be another 6 years. But in some of those jurisdictions, within 3 months, within 6 months, the person is convicted. And once you're
but the House of Reps is saying it's not an issue. Even if you bring a fake school start result or a fake anything, just for you to say you are interested in a public position, it's not an issue.
Why it was
how about the integrity of the electoral process?
No, the integrity of the electoral process already is supposed to have made provision that once there is forgery, you're not supposed to continue. Once you're convicted of any crime, especially as it relates to dishonesty. But why some of us would want that provision to still be there is because our courts are not working. The election petition is time bound. It's 6 months or 3 months as the case may be. So if that issue comes up, the court can determine whether the person is qualified within that system. But when you throw it away, it means that the thing is going into flux, so the credibility will no longer be there. In other countries, because the argument by some of the legislators is that in many countries, you don't have it as a standalone ground for election petition. But those countries will easily convict that person in such a way that it becomes the fact that the person is already convicted. So the credibility
what will you say to the Senate? Because this is House of Reps talking.
Yes.
The thing will still go to the Senate for concurrence.
No, my advice
should the Senate just reject anybody that brings any fake result, whether it's even a coupon sheet, should not be allowed to aspire to any elective position. And you cannot be in two political parties. It's a question of integrity and morality. You are quoting Section 40. No, if you believe in one party, stay there. Don't play amphibious politics.
Yes, stay there. That is correct. But if a group of people have hijacked a particular political party, and you cannot win an election there, you cannot win primaries despite how popular you are. Freedom of say, in other countries where you have independent candidacy, it covers all these. We don't have independent candidacy. We have some political parties that have entrenched themselves. So if they decide in those days, when we look at when we had original PDP and the original APP, once you deny ticket to somebody who believes he's very popular, in fact, NRC and SDP then, once you deny ticket to somebody who believes he was popular, he will move to another party and he will win because the masses want him. You are now trying to remove the platform on which the person can test his popularity. So the essence of having multi-party system is to allow somebody who believes, since there is no independent candidacy, is to allow somebody who believes he is popular to go and test his popularity. Remember also that if we have 230 or 260 million Nigerians, how many people are in political parties? They are less than 40 million.
Okay. Maybe we'll get some clarity on this if we go to the Senate.
Yes.
The Senate, now the other day now the Senate is dominated now by the APC.
Yes.
They have is it 231?
Yes.
Of the House of Reps. It is 7 in the Senate, which gives them almost an absolute
majority.
2/3 majority.
Yes.
Okay, are we heading towards a one-party state? Then number 2, some members of the various political parties have now dissolved into the ADC. One of them, Senator Naira, has been given a 1-week ultimatum to say there's no division in your party within the purview of Section 68 of the Constitution and Section 109 sub 1G. So proof within 1 week that there is division in Apuga. Otherwise, the Senate President will invoke Order 20 sub J and say you have lost your seat. Some people have come forward. For example, the ADP. There's a party called ADP.
Yes.
Chairman Yabagi Sani, saying that no, this is double standards.
Yes.
When one of our members defected to APC, and there was no crisis in the ADP, you didn't bring up this standing order of the Senate. And now you cannot say Senator Abaribe Enyenaya cannot go to where he wants. Those are the issues also in the Senate.
Now the problem we have with the current dispensation is the double standard. We've had a situation whereby people from SDP moved to APC. We've had also a situation whereby people from different other political parties moved to APC. There was no issue of calling up the standing rules or the constitutional provisions. But when it comes to some people, or when it does not favor, if for instance, Naira Baribe had decided to go to APC, I'm sure nobody will raise that. But I want to give special warning to the politicians. When you continue to narrow the political space, when you continue to impose a particular system on the people, you are pushing the people to the wall. And when you push them to the wall, be ready for whatever reaction that will come. Allow the people to breathe. Allow Nigeria, this time around, people were saying allow the poor. This one is no longer just the poor. Allow Nigerians to breathe. Allow Nigerians to make choice of whatever they want. But where we fail to do that, it will be highly catastrophic. And we all will go in for it. Particularly the elites that do not want to say anything. Yesterday, Malam El Rufai and others were in charge. Today, and the former Attorney General, Malami, they were in charge yesterday. Today, they are no longer in charge. The system seems to be denying them their rights because they did the same when they were in charge. Today, people are in charge. Tomorrow, they are not going to be in charge. That is if we are going to get to that stage. And we pray that we'll just continue. As Nigeria, we pray that things continue working in a better way, but let's be careful with the way we are pressing the masses.
But to the specific question of Senator Abaribe, should he lose his seat?
No, certainly.
If he fails to provide empirical evidence
now
there is division in Akuga.
No, now even when you look at whether there is division in APGA or not, we still know that the issue of the chairmanship of APGA, who is the chairman of APGA today, is still an issue. So the fact that you have a governor does not mean that their issues are solved. But I do not want to go into the empirical fact whether there is division in APGA. I also choose to go into the Senate, the precedents the Senate have set. The Senate president, how many people that have, how many senators that have crossed who belong to political parties that are stable, that he has invoked this provision. There can be double standard. This is an open space. So nobody should raise such thing against Senator Baribe because you've not done it before. Yes, somebody may say, even if you didn't do it before, it's your prerogative. But your prerogative, or whatever you think is your prerogative, must be exercised in such a way that Nigerians will know that you are not out to witch hunt, you are not out to decimate other political parties that are not APC. They are comfortable. APC is very comfortable now. He has to tell, what is he looking for? He has 31 governors. What is his problem? He should allow the system to continue flowing. I don't know what they are afraid of.
Okay, you're asking the question. You don't know what the APC is afraid of. Will you say, therefore, that the election, the general election 2027, has already been won and lost? The APC already has a 3/10 majority in the National Assembly. They have, to quote you directly, 31 governors. That number, we're being told, is likely to increase.
Yes.
Because other governors, you know, they are just doing dress rehearsal to go to the APC.
Yes.
Hundreds of lawmakers have already cross-carpeted. So do you think that, should we even have this election? Shouldn't we just proclaim, you know, the APC winner at all levels?
But what are they afraid of? If the APC is comfortable with what they have, they should allow the space. They should give Nigerians free and fair election. You know, because they have the blocks. Let us know whether Nigerians are happy with the system. We have more than we have up to 60 million Nigerians to vote. We have political gladiators that are less than 1,000 in all, or that are less than 5,000 in all. And we are thinking of more than 5 million Nigerians. Allow them. When you don't allow them, that's where there is a problem. So each governor will come with 10,000 persons. Each governor will come with 10,000 persons. Each senator will come with maybe 5,000 persons. Allow them to come with those their followers and allow Nigerians to move.
Okay, we'll wrap up now. You say Nigerians are, whether they are happy or not, give them the opportunity to express whether they are happy or sad. Are you happy with this system?
I have not seen any Nigerian who is not benefiting from the system directly who says he is happy.
No, I'm asking you a personal question. Are you happy?
I am not happy because a lot of people are calling me from the village, calling me from classmates and everything. They are hungry. And I cannot be happy. And I am certain they are calling you. You may decide to part with some of the things you have. You may decide not to. But I am very certain that not Nigerians that are happy with the system can never be more than 100,000 persons.
No, you yourself.
I am not happy.
No, yes, not about other people.
Yes,
who are disturbing you. Are you happy? You are wearing white. Yes. You have a nice cap, which will become a red cap very soon. Are you happy with that? You talk about yourself. Don't bother about the people from the village.
No, I have said I am not happy. I've mentioned categorically that I'm not happy.
You said because other people are calling you.
No, I said I am not happy. That's number one. Okay. And I said this is also in addition, as a result of many other people calling for assistance, it makes me, if you want to use the word sadder, it makes me to feel a bit more. I can't go out the way I want. No fuel, food, everything is very costly.
That's now. Not because of Nigerian government. That's because of the war in Iran.
No, even before the war in Iran. No, what you're looking at is a purchasing power. Even when it was being sold for 720 or 740, what is our purchasing power? A civil servant. Look, I was speaking with somebody who is at level 15 in one of the states. And she told me she was being paid less than 80,000 naira in a month. A civil servant, a senior civil servant, okay. 80,000. Even if you're selling fuel at 500 naira, can she purchase it?
Zala, don't worry. You are beginning to sound like an obedient.
So, I don't know what you want to say. I don't belong to any political party as far as the last time I checked.
Okay, thank you.
But I know that Nigerians are not happy. And I think we should be able to think of how do we increase the purchasing power of Nigerians? How do we make the economy better? Whether you call them obedience, whether you call anything, what is important is that people are leaving this country when we should all be returning to Nigeria. So I don't know. If that's what obedience are preaching, that's fine. I'm sure you also be an obedience if that's the
No, I'm not affiliated. I'm just